What's happening today?
We're getting our ears pierced.
For months, and it's finally the day.
I've almost been asking for a year now.
Yeah, I promised you for your 8th birthday, and it's been like 6 months since then. And Hannah's just getting to go a little early, even though she's only 7.
And she's going.
All right, get together. Let's see your ears before they're pierced.
It might be a little too big. I don't want it to get caught in anything and then you get hurt your ear. You want to do the stars? Maybe you want to do the lightning? You want to do that? Or you can do whatever you want. Just better to start a little small. You want the black one or this rose gold one or the silver?
I think rose gold.
Okay. And you want rose gold lightning? Okay. So cute.
So exciting.
You guys are gonna look so cute.
They didn't want me to do it for them.
Yeah.
Well, Mommy said no because she said that
Have you had experience with piercing? You pierced someone's belly button.
Mommy wanted it to be straight.
I said we want a professional to do it.
It's amazing what people do to get their ears pierced sometimes. So with the
Dad
story,
pierced his brother's belly button.
That was years, 25 years ago.
This is what happened. He got his mom's finger. He warmed it up
In the microwave.
Where are you guys getting the microwave from?
And then he pierced his brother's belly.
oh my goodness, that
don't
is
know.
crazy.
I never said
Wait,
what
what if we ripped the
something.
birth certificate?
Please don't rip the birth certificate.
I know, but what if they got ripped? Mom told me to record.
Noses sometimes.
That's disgusting.
I know. It's crazy.
Open up these bubbles and we're going to blow bubbles to heaven for Don Layton. 10 years ago, Don passed away, and it happened to be on our anniversary that he left, and it was Easter too. Remember, the kids all went to the park and hunted Easter eggs while he was passing. Anyway, it was, 62 years ago on this day that Don and I had been married civilly in Kentucky, and a lot of people wondered if our marriage was really right because my elderly uncle married us, and Don said, I don't think he got my name right. And I said, well, your name wasn't right on the wedding announcement either, so I guess we're going to be married anyway. And we didn't use any birth control, so I was pregnant with Sean when we took off to go to Salt Lake to be sealed in the Salt Lake Temple. And when we got there, I was sick. I was throwing up all the time, and we showed our recommends, and the officiator or whoever was checking us in, he said, I'm sorry, you guys can't go through the temple today. And we said, well, I have a letter here from QB Brown that says we can. And anyway, they called David O. McKay, and he said, let them go through. So we were sealed, and all you kids were born under the covenant then, and you're mine. You're mine. I'm your mother no matter what. And I'm going to tell a little story about each one of you. You know, this life is lingering for me. I'm ready to go on and to the next phase of my life. It gets very lonely at times in that condo, and I have a lot of time to think about my life with Don Layden. And we had our ups and downs, as all couples do, but I loved him and he loved me, and we had lots of experiences together, and he loved you kids. You were his life. Well, each one of you have gotten lost from Don and I at one certain time, and I'm going to tell you about that. Sean, when he was working at a meat plant company, and they had a young men, young women's activity that they were going to go all night on that activity, and they were going to different businesses and seeing how people work. And Sean was just going to walk over there because it was walking distance from the church. Well,
I thought I was getting picked up.
Well, the communication wasn't right with you and me today, Kim.
I sat on the curb at the Farm Boy Meats waiting for somebody to pick me up, and then nobody picked me up, so then I walked over there.
Okay, he walked over there, and by that time, the bus had left and taken the kids, and he didn't hook up. So he was tired, and he crawled up in the bushes and went to sleep.
No, I was hungry, but I didn't have any money.
Yeah, I see that.
So I walked over to the 7-Eleven, and I sat outside the 7-Eleven for a little while, and nobody had compassion on me at the 7-Eleven. And so then I walked back to church and figured I was a fat boy and I wanted to eat. So anyway, then I crawled into the bushes because I saw these police officers. I saw police officers scanning with their lights all over, and
they were looking for Sean.
And I was hiding from the police because I knew I was 15 and I was out past curfew, and I didn't want to get caught by the police. And so the police couldn't catch me because I was a good hider.
And Don was so frantic about us not being able to find him that he had the meat plant manager come and open up and check all the...
He thought I'd been made into hot dogs.
So anyway, that was a frantic time for us hunting for Sean. Okay, the frantic time with Lance, he wasn't but 2 years old, and he followed Sean around like a little shadow. And they were playing outside, and I thought they were fine. I didn't really check on them real often, and when I did, there was no Lance. And I said, Sean, where is your brother? I don't know. I said, well, you were playing together. Where is he? I don't know. So I was frantic then, and Don wasn't home. So I looked all outside. I couldn't find him. And I was getting ready to call the police, thinking that somebody had grabbed him. And I went in, and I was checking under the beds, and there he was, laying in the bed asleep, sound asleep. He got tired and just come in the house and went to bed. So that was our loss of Lance. Now, Troy, when we lost him, it was at a Little League deal down on Helfrich Park. And I don't remember all the details of this one because I think he was running up and down looking for us, and we were running up and down looking for him, and we finally did connect. So we were frantic looking for him. And then we came to Kemp. Kemp was about 4 years old, and we had family home evening, and we thought we'd take the kids to the mall, Washington Square Mall. They had a little petting zoo there at the mall for that that Monday night. And so we took the kids there, and they petted the animals, and they were all really happy. And I need to go down to Sears. The petting zoo was on one end of the mall, and Sears was on the other. And we just walked those 5 kids down to Sears. And you know, when you meet somebody, we met the state president in there and we were chit-chatting and the kids were running around hiding in the clothes and blah, 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 blah. Well, when we got ready to leave, no Kim. So they even locked down the store trying to find him. He wasn't in Sears. He definitely was not in Sears. So we started down the mall looking in the stores. We weren't having any success. Nobody had seen me. And I thought, you know, he really did enjoy petting those animals. Now, he was 4 years old. He made his way all the way back down there, and he was just petting the animals, and we were frantic thinking our boy had been grabbed by somebody. And that was our loss with Kim. Now, Heather, she was in college when we lost her. And she was working.
We all know this one.
She was working on the Ohio River. It was the 4th of July. And Maura Heslop was working with her. And there were some guys there, and they had a boat. And they asked the 2 girls to go out on the boat with me. Maura said, I'm not going. Heather said, well, I am. Well, Maura said, well, I'll just wait here for you. You won't be gone long, will you? No, we won't be gone long. 2 hours later, she still wasn't back. And so Maura called me and she said, Heather's out on the boat and those guys are drinking. I don't know. I worry. We may be in the river. So Don gets in the car. I said, well, you're not going to find her by going in the car, Don. I said, let's just call the police. And so we called the sheriff. He said, well, we don't even look for them unless they're gone 24 hours. I said, this girl doesn't normally do this kind of thing. I think she's really in trouble. So he was sitting there, and this must have been like 2 or 3 in the morning. And he's sitting there at the table taking all the reporting. Here floats in, Heather, what's going on? The police are here, what's going on? I didn't know whether to hug her or smack her. But that was my story of losing my kids. And I know that Christ looks at every one of us as his, because there's stories in the Bible about looking for the one. And I would do that for any of my grandkids, for my children, their mates. I wouldn't want to lose any of you. You're mine. I love all of you. And I appreciate you coming here today to pay tribute to Don Layden. He loved you kids. He loved you grandkids. He lived his life. He was a hard worker. He was adamant about me staying home and not working. And I had to agree with him that that was the best thing to do. But he would work night jobs. He would work all summers doing things to make money so that I could stay home. So he was a good man.
So I never understood anything about Dad growing up in Evansville. Every time we'd be out late, if we were boys or girls or whatever, Mom said he was going to get in the car and go find Heather, but he'd always go and try to drive around Evansville and find us. And I was like, what in the freak, man? Evansville's huge. But then when I moved to Holbrook, I kind of understand why my dad was like he was. Because if I wanted to go find my kids,
We always found
I could always find
Unfortunately.
Really didn't know where Kemp was, but Don said, I think I know where he is. And he drove over to this girl's place and Kemp was there. I remember.
Oh, there is a Mom, there's an all night one. Oh, there's a